I have a question. Is life, your entire life, just one big Groundhog's Day? What do I mean by this? Well, this comes from the movie Groundhog's Day. And in this movie, if you've seen it or if you at least known about it, it's a movie where basically a guy has to live the same day, Groundhog's Day, that's the whole point of the movie, over and over again. Now, I'm not going to spoil exactly what he does, but basically, he does all the things he wanted to do, all the things he couldn't do. In other words, it's just one of those movies where it repeats over and over again. It's a loop movie, okay? It's a loop movie. That's what it is. But again, if you haven't actually watched the movie, I'm not going to spoil it in exact detail. But that's like the whole point of the movie, right? Like you're not really spoiling the movie. You're just giving the idea of what the movie is about, without actually telling you what happens in the movie. But anyway, okay, imagine the theory of like living a life the same day of life over and over and over and over and over again. But I'm telling you right now, what if instead of a day, it was your entire life cycle? So then it could open up a bajillion other questions. If it's an entire life cycle, instead of a day, does that mean you'll restart the same exact way from when you were born? Does that mean, you'll just respawn, later on or earlier in time? It's basically just you, but in a different version, I don't know. Wouldn't that mean that if there was a multiverse, every single version of you is just a slightly different version of your existence? Like it's a slightly different version of this one, which is a slightly different version of this one. How do you know the life that you're living right now isn't just another copy of many? How do you know that the multiverse isn't really just, you living the same life over and over again, but slightly differently this time? Like you made this choice instead of that choice, or this world is like this way, or this world is like that way, Like, there might be planets where you never existed, so that doesn't count. Those worlds, those versions of Earth don't count. But for every version that you do exist in, there's an infinite amount of ways you could possibly exist. You could be a man, you could be a woman, you could be, intersex. You could be a dog, you could be a cow. And even if you were a human, what kind of human? Would you be a doctor? Would you be a nurse? Would you be a scientist, a linguist, a teacher? Somebody with a job? Firefighter? Cop? Would you be a gangbanger? Would you be a finger-linking duker knocker? I don't know. But I just had this on my mind because what if life really is a Groundhog's Day? So you're just living but if it was like in the movie, you would just be living the same exact life over and over and over and over again. What the hell? So if I'm living the same exact life over and over again, am I supposed to be doing something different? Is there something I'm supposed to do? Or does it just go on for infinity? Is there a true meaning to life? I don't know. In this context. Like, what would be the point? What would be the freaking point? Something to think about. So, in reality, you probably are immortal. It's just your death, your true death, your final death, is not your final death. That final death is just another time. You know? But I don't know. I just don't know. You know? Maybe. Oh, I forgot to mention about this movie. Nobody knows why there was a time loop. They were originally going to have a scene for that, but nobody knows what the reason why he went through a time loop either than he did. You know? It's very much something to think about. I don't know, do you think life is in itself one big ass Groundhog's Day? Quite a theory. Quite a thought. You know? I don't know. It is what it is.